Man, it must be that time of year again, fellas. What is good? It is your boy Game Nut coming back once again for another year of some Madden Ultimate Team content. I've missed you guys, man. I hope you're all well. I am super pumped that we've got ourselves another Madden title right around the corner because I'm ready to start playing some Ultimate Team again, man. I don't know about you guys, but I know we've kind of gone over this same situation the past few years, you know, where I go months on end without putting up any content on the channel and whatnot, which, you know, it's nothing but me to blame. Sometimes you have life events that happen that maybe make you not want to play the game, but also, you know, I feel the past couple of years of Madden have been very dry, and especially last year, it just felt like you had to force yourself to want to get on and play that game. But thankfully, that year has passed, and we have a new Madden upon us. Now, today we are going to be taking a look at some of the early content that has been revealed so far for Madden 23 Ultimate Team. I do know that some of this is a few days old, man. Okay, leave me alone. I'm trying to make my comeback. Bear with me, all right? But we are going to be taking a look at some of the core elites that have been revealed so far for MUT 23, specifically the offensive players, and looking at the top 10 players at each offensive position. All right, fellas, we've got our first position here, taking a look at the running backs. I just kind of want to have a little open discussion here with this video, letting you guys know my thoughts, how I feel about the top 10, and if I think they should be rearranged, if there's some players missing and whatnot. And if you guys also feel the same way, of course, feel free to leave those comments down below and let me know what you think about the top 10s for these positions. So, taking a look at our top 10 core elite running backs to begin the year, leading the way, to no surprise, is of course the King, Derrick Henry, sitting at 88 overall. You guys will notice that is the trend across all the core elite positions, 88 overall being the highest you can obtain. That was the same as last year in MUT to begin the year. I honestly wouldn't have minded if they bumped it down one to 87s being the highest overall. I kind of like having that longevity of the game, you know, drawing out the stats to as long as you possibly can, because when you get the stats too high overall too early, then, you know, that just kind of starts to bring the game down a little bit. It starts to feel more arcade-like and whatnot. And that is one trend you guys are going to notice across all of these cards, that the speed stat is one big thing that has been lowered, which again is something that I personally am a big fan of. So Derrick Henry leading the way. You guys are seeing some of the stats as I'm putting them up on the screen as I'm talking here. But Jonathan Taylor being the number 2 running back, very well deserved. We've got Nick Chubb at number 3, 86 overall, Dalvin Cook at 85, Christian McCaffrey, Alvin Kamara, Austin Eckler, Joe Mixon, Najee Harris, and Cordarrelle Patterson. So, in my opinion on the running backs, I feel like they got it right for the most part. The only thing I feel like is missing here would maybe be like Aaron Jones. I don't know. I feel like with him not being on this list, obviously that means he's 82 overall or lower, being under Cordarrelle Patterson, which I think is a little disrespectful. Aaron Jones puts up some numbers. He gets a lot of yards. I feel like he should definitely have a spot on this list. Maybe even like an 84 overall, I'd say, at the minimum. I think Najee Harris probably would be the guy that you could replace him with. I don't really know why he's on this list. I think 83 overall might be a little bit too up of a high boost for him, but for the most part, I think the list is all right. Dalvin Cook, you could argue for something like an 86 overall. You could argue Christian McCaffrey go down a little bit because he's been injured, you know, the past couple of years and whatnot, but for the most part, I like these running back rankings. Next up, we've got ourselves the top 10 tight ends, and leading the way here, man, to my surprise, I definitely did not expect this kind of love for my Ravens from EA. The number 1 tight end this year is 88 overall, Mark Andrews. I love it, man. He definitely deserves it. I mean, he was the number 1 tight end in football last season. He had the best stats for a tight end, but there's no denying that the top 3 tight ends in football are definitely Mark Andrews, Travis Kelce, and George Kittle. You could really organize those 3 in any order that you want to. If anybody tries to put a different tight end in that top 3, they honestly don't know too much about football, in my opinion. But it kind of makes sense that George Kittle is the number 3 here at the 86 overall, because I think he did have somewhat of a down year last year, but I very well could have anticipated Kelce being flip-flopped into the number 1 spot and him being the 88 overall tight end, but it's definitely nice to see Andrews being the number 1 this year. Now, as for the rest of this list, this is where things start to get a little interesting for me, fellas, honestly. Number 4, we've got ourselves Kyle Pitts at an 85 overall. Fellas, this man had 1 singular receiving touchdown in his rookie season, okay? I'm not taking away from Kyle Pitts. He's definitely a very athletic player, especially for being a tight end. He did have 1,000 yards, big whoop, but I mean, a rookie, and he had a single touchdown. I mean, come on, man. You're going to rank him over somebody like Darren Waller, number 5, sitting at 84 overall. It just doesn't really sit right with me, man. It's a little disrespectful to Darren Waller, in my opinion, someone that's been a little bit more consistent the past few years in the NFL. Definitely gets more than 1 single receiving touchdown in a season. I think he only actually got a handful last year as well, but I mean, I don't know. Just a rookie who had 1 touchdown all the way up to an 85 overall. Doesn't really make any sense to me. You guys are seeing the bottom 5 tight ends, however: Dallas Goedert, Mike Gesicki, Dalton Schultz, Logan Thomas, and CJ Uzomah. I also feel that there could be a little bit of rearranging with the bottom few tight ends here on this list as well, as I think there's a couple of guys missing. Hunter Henry and TJ Hawkinson are definitely two tight ends that I would consider that you could argue rightfully have their place here in the top 10 core elites for the tight ends, man, as especially someone over Logan Thomas. Why is this guy on this list at an 81 overall? The man had 196 receiving yards last year, and he's an 81 over the two guys that I just named before. Also, CJ Uzoma, I think he should be a gold. That's my only other concerns I have here with the tight end list. Taking a look now at the top 10 wide receivers to begin the year. Leading the way, this should take nobody by surprise. We've got ourselves Cooper Kupp sitting at the 88 overall position. The Triple Crown winner from last year. He obviously had the most stats for everything you could do at a wide receiver. He was a Super Bowl MVP, like I said. Should take nobody by surprise that this man is the #1 receiver to begin the year in MUT. At the number 2 and 3 spots, we've got some 87 overall wide receivers, rightfully so. These guys definitely deserve these spots. And they're both guys that are joining new teams this year, which I definitely see is kind of interesting. Devontae Adams, obviously going to be a Raider this season. Tyreek Hill going to the Miami Dolphins. What do you guys think that their predictions are for their new teams? I think Devontae honestly is going to still be a beast, but I feel like Tyreek, man, he's not going to be able to put up those same numbers as he did in Kansas City. At the 4 and 5 spot, we've got ourselves the former LSU teammates with Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson at 86 overalls. I honestly think that Jefferson belongs to be here, and I know you guys might call me a little bit biased on this here, but I genuinely think that Jamar Chase is ranked a little bit too high here, man. I mean, I know he had historically one of the best NFL rookie wide receiver seasons that you could have, whatever, but both him and Justin Jefferson in the rookie years had like 1,400 yards. Justin Jefferson's been in the league a year longer, and last year he had even more yards than he did in his rookie season. To rank them at the same overalls, I don't know. That just doesn't make sense to me, man. Jamar Chase, I definitely think is a little bit too high here. He honestly, I feel, should be like more so of an 84 overall. Continuing with the rest of the list now, at number 6, we have Stephon Diggs at 85 overall, who I honestly feel is a little bit too low. I think that he should be boosted up. He should be one of those 86 overalls and probably not Jamar Chase. Number 7, DeAndre Hopkins at 85. Kind of makes sense here, I guess. You know, a little bit banged up last year, missed a couple of games, so he fell a few spots, but obviously still one of the elite receivers in the league. Deebo Samuel being an 85 overall, I feel like you could potentially argue him to be an 86, but I don't know, 85 is probably a good spot. And then rounding out the end of the list with also being 85s, we've got Mike Evans and A.J. Brown, which I'm satisfied with that. It's a pretty solid list at the end there. I feel like you could argue maybe a couple of different receivers there for the number 10 spot at a different 85 overall. Maybe DK Metcalf, one coming to mind there as someone that could also, you could argue, is the number 10 spot. But for the most part, I like the top 10 wide receivers to begin the year. And finally, last but not least, we have ourselves the top 10 quarterbacks in Ultimate Team. No offensive linemen. Obviously, EA does not care about those guys. But to start things off, the number 1 quarterback this year is 88 overall. Josh Allen. I'm not mad about it. I'm not going to really argue it. I think he definitely deserves it, but I'm a little surprised by it. I'm not going to lie. With numbers 2 through 4 being Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers, and Tom Brady, that definitely makes sense as the number 1 through 4, but I'm surprised by the order. I don't know. I kind of was expecting more like so probably Aaron Rodgers to be 1, Josh Allen maybe 2, Mahomes to be 3. I guess it makes sense that Tom Brady is number 4, but I don't know. I was definitely a little bit surprised seeing Josh Allen as the number 1 guy, but I'm not mad about it. Continuing on with the rest of the quarterbacks, to be honest with you guys, I feel like they got all of the players correct who are in the top 10 here, but I just feel like a lot of rearranging needs to be done and a little bit of adjusting with these overalls. I don't know, I think they were just a little bit too generous with some guys. As we continue on here at number 5, Justin Herbert being 86 overall. When Lamar Jackson won MVP the next year in the game, he was an 86 overall. Justin Herbert, I don't think he's done that. I don't know. I might have to go double check, but I'm not taking anything away from Herbert. I definitely love the guy. I think he's a great young quarterback coming up in this league, you know, like along with Josh Allen. But I think 86 might be pushing it a little bit. I think you could argue that to be bumped down 1 or 2 overalls. Next up, Matthew Stafford, the Super Bowl winner of last season, joining his new team, the LA Rams. He sits as an 85 overall. I think that's an okay position for him. At number 7, we now have 85 overall Joe Burrow overrated. Don't say you heard it here first. I know you guys might say I'm a little bit biased here, but I definitely think this is a little bit of a generous rating here, man, at an 85 overall. Think it should be more so like an 83, maybe even an 82. I know, so what, he made the Super Bowl, but I don't think he is worthy of an 85 overall. finishing out the list, we've got ourselves at number 8, Dak Prescott, 84 overall. I know a lot of people will say Dak is also a little bit too high up here, which I think you could argue that as well. I don't know. Dak's all right. He's kind of, your hit or miss quarterback. I think he could go down to an 83 overall. Number 9, we've got Russell Wilson at an 84. Come on, man. Just because he switched to a new team, he's going down in overalls. I don't think that's right. I'm pretty sure Russell Wilson is still pretty good, and I think he should still at least be at minimum an 85 overall. And then at the number 10 position, I just don't even want to look at this. This elf should not be in the number 10 position. All right, he should not be 83 overall. Probably 82, even 81. Kyler Murray is your number 10 quarterback. Again, the only issue I really have with this, like I said, I think all the players here are definitely correct, but the disrespect to Lamar Jackson, man. I mean, come on. I know I'm a Ravens fan. I don't care what you guys say. If you want to say I'm biased and whatnot, it is what it is. But, I mean, still, Lamar Jackson, the disrespect to him is seriously unreal. I don't know why he's not in the top 10 list. But there you guys have it, man. That is going to do it for today's video. The top 10 players at each offensive position in Madden 23 Ultimate Team. I'm super excited to be back, man. Not only making videos for you guys, but just football in general, man. Once the off season is just, those months start piling on top of each other, the itch for football just slowly starts coming back, man. And I'm so ready for not only the NFL, but just ready to play Ultimate Team again, man. So hopefully all of you guys are excited and ready to be back as well. Next video up will be the defensive players, of course, but that's going to do it for today, guys. Hopefully all of you guys did enjoy. If you did, be sure to put a thumbs up on the video. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.